Okay, hello, first of all. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
My name is Ole Dammegard, and I was born in Denmark, grew up in Sweden, and I'm now living in Spain since the year 2000. I've spent some 30 years of my life looking into false flag operation, top assassinations, and so on. I have a background as a journalist, and I don't really know how I ended up in this area, but this is what I devote my life to.
Okay.
And the reason for that is with the intention of peace, compassion, forgiveness. But to get there, we need to expose these dark things that is going on.
Okay, just as we were talking before, there is a sudden increase in the number of terrorist attacks in Europe. France seems to be the main target. Can you tell us why?
First of all, I want to say alleged terror attacks, because during all of these years that I've been looking into these things, and I've been digging deep, trying to get as far down the line as possible into finding out the real truth. I have never ever encountered a Muslim terrorist. I've never ever found an Allah Akbar real one. Okay. What I have found is inside job, state-sponsored terrorism that are there to scare us into obedience. Where I believe it's an old Roman template of how an elite few can control the masses.
I understand, right.
The only way they can control us is through fear. And so in times when there's no outer enemy, they need to create one.
Okay.
And it's built on an old, once again, Roman template. They were the ones that came up with this because they were just a few in Rome and they needed to control this massive empire. So what they do is they use an old template called problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. They, the few in power, secretly create a problem.
Yeah.
The reason for that is so we will go scared into a position where we do not think, or we just go emotional. And then we, like this, turn towards the people we think are there to protect us, not understanding that they are actually the ones creating the problem. Saying, please help us. And then they will serve us the solution. And the solution every single time, is something we would never ever have accepted had it not been for the problem. Problem, reaction, solution.
Okay.
So to go to your question about France, I would say it's a massive mistake to look at this as something that is happening in France, or Germany, or England, or the States, and so on. You need to look at it, after all of these years, I've learned you need to look from a high point of view, where the agenda is called the New World Order.
Yeah.
Where the world is being played as a chessboard, and the different countries are just like pieces of thing, where they're playing us against each other or whatever they want to do. And the name of the game to control us is terror.
Okay.
So when you look at terror attacks in France, just mean that inside jobs in France. Also, when you look at the spreading out of these attacks, you will see that it is rotating, it is revolving. The exact same countries, and we're talking NATO,
right,
connected to Gladio, connected to the US. So the countries involved, I can tell you where the next one is going to be. It's in Europe, mass shootings more or less only in the US, because that is where problem, reaction, solution. They want the weapons to be the problem, so that the solution will be to disarm the population, get the weapons away from them, so that they can just like this. Here we don't have weapons, so there's hardly any mass shootings. There's some stabbings, because they want to get rid of the knives as well. So in the end, we will only be allowed forks and a little spoon, maybe. They want to get rid of this.
Perhaps, yeah.
But here instead, we have terror attacks. Horror, horror, horror. Not at all. staged events. Okay. And the countries where it happens is Denmark, Germany, France, England, Belgium, Holland, Sweden sometimes. They have like a joker in the game, Lithuania.
Okay.
And now suddenly Russia has appeared as well, which is a little confusing, I must say. But then again, when you look at NATO drills, Russia is part of these NATO drills.
Yeah.
And Poland is becoming more and more part of these things, which is the latest 3, 4, 5 ones. They're pointing towards Poland, like doing like this. So there's definitely something going on in this direction.
Okay. Okay. As we spoken before, there are new means of conducting terrorist attacks, such as trucks or cars. Are those acts of desperation or planned attacks, or actions of so-called lone wolves?
Lone wolves, forget it. Lone wolf. The reason why they want lone wolves to blame it on. I'm not saying they're lone wolves are doing it. Absolutely not. These are coordinated attacks, military precision, but staged events nowadays, like filmed events, because the target is media, to get it out globally. Okay. It's not, the target is not to hit like here in Warsaw, just the people here. No. We're looking globally. So they aim at the media. That's where they get it out. Okay. And they always aim at targets that has some symbolic value for that country, the national identity. So it will be Champs-Élysées now the latest, or the Eiffel Tower, the Twin Towers, Acropolis, Big Ben, these type of things, where there's a nationality identity to it, a tourist interest as well. Of course, you need to go. And also you will have multiple nationalities among the victims to involve emotionally as many countries as possible. Okay. And also the person that they blame it on will now have double citizenship to involve even more. So that, or centers for transportation, airports, trains, ferries, airplanes, and so on. And it's built on also the strategy of tension, an old CIA strategy, where they want to destabilize modern society, scare the living bejesus out of us, so that we will be like this. There will be nowhere we can be safe, and where violence can happen randomly. Okay. It's not targeted. It should be at any place. So it's supermarket, train station, so that nobody will feel safe. Okay. Okay. During today's presentation, you have spoken about London as an example. Can you give more examples? How many do you want?
Name a couple.
Of staged events?
Right.
Oh my God. Say one that isn't. Boston bombing, 9/11, Sandy Hook, Oklahoma City, the London 7/7 bombings, the Queen's Day massacre, the mass shooting in Norway, the blowing up of the government building in Oslo, the Copenhagen shooting, the Melbourne, the car attacks, the Ottawa shootings, the Sydney siege, the Charlie Hebdo, the Bataclan massacre, the blowing up of the airport in Brussels. Do you want more? I can continue.
That gives us the idea.
But the aim with this is that we, a normal person, would think, oh my God, the whole world is crazy, there are terrorists everywhere, but they're not. It is coordinated. I would suggest it's even the same small little unit that are traveling from country to country in army planes, being transported, landing at military bases, then going by bus to location where there's always a drill. The drill is there, very important for them, so that they can corner off streets and areas, so that we will stay away, because it's the drill for our protection. They're very kind, not at all. But this drill is there so that they can get vehicles in position, explosives, smoke bombs, crisis actors, directors, catering. They need catering as well, toilets, all of these things.
So it's like preparing a movie, right?
It's exactly. I spent quite a few years as an extra in movies, you know, walking in the background, sitting in the background. and I was desperate to get a job at that point, so I was doing everything to learn as much as possible about the film business to get a job. So I'm very grateful now, because when I look at these things, they are like film sets.
Okay.
It was somewhere after the 9/11 where there were so many victims, so many families that were very, very upset and angry, and especially women that would not back down and just swallow official lies. And somewhere after 9/11 they decided, we need to change strategy. Let's go for a small little group where we can control all parameters. And so that is what they came up with. And I have sources inside the CIA who confirms this. And they say it's very easy this way.
Okay.
So I call them the global tour of terror, just like a rock band on tour.
Right.
And that is also why we see the exact same show being played out.
Amazing. Amazing.
Same theme. I show you images from different things. Candles, flowers, after these shootings, the Allah Akbar theme, all of these things. I will show you 20 different, identical. I bet you will not be able to tell them apart. I can, but that's only because I'm a nerd.
Yeah, of course.
In this area.
Okay. Next question would be regarding the attack in Germany using a Polish truck. For us Poles, that's very close, and it was a Polish truck and a Polish driver. Can you tell us your thoughts about that topic?
Poland has been more and more involved. I don't know if you know, but you've been hosting prisons here, awful prisons for the CIA. That is very not okay. But you're only one of many countries, so we're all playing this game, very, very ugly game. But what is that?
Maybe some kind of alarm.
I just thought maybe it's better not to have it in the background. So Poland have been hosting different secret prisons for the CIA, where the CIA and other forces have been flying prisoners here, where they've gone through absolute horror.
Yeah.
So it's also when you see Poland is not a member of NATO, at the same time it's sort of right out in the outskirts, sort of like holding the hand. And there's something going on here, because we're spreading east. We've had terror in Western Europe. Now they're spreading it to include, I would say, Poland, Romania, Hungary, these type of countries. Former Eastern Bloc is now being involved. So, because when you look at these things, nothing is a coincidence. It's just by chance, maybe sometimes, but when you see it being repeated, you have to react. And here we see Poland. I've noticed, like, whoa. The Polish truck, you have the Polish driver that is said to have been killed, the Polish owner that is living in the US, as far as I know, not in Poland. Then in London, the guy that filmed on the bridge was the former foreign minister, Radoslav Sikorski, is that his name?
Yeah. Sikorski.
Who is a Bilderberg member. He was the one filming the whole thing on the bridge. No. Because that was not filmed on the day of the attack. It was filmed on the 24th of September 2016. And the whole was a total setup. You will see there's no traffic in the background. They're talking about 3 victims. The weather is different than on that day. And so the whole thing was a state, that part was a state thing. And so, dear Mr. Sikorski has some questions to answer. I would say, up against the wall, what were you part of?
Okay.
Because he's just one of the players, these extreme cowards that are in nice suits, being behind
the curtain,
pulling the strings, not doing any dirty work themselves, but being part of creating absolute horror in the form of wars against innocent countries. And in this case, what we're seeing now with the latest attacks is that they want us to emotionally support bomb raids against Syria, where there were fake false flags. These chemical attacks were not real down there, but they want us emotionally to get that way. So in Stockholm, when that happened, a normal beer truck, they said, was hijacked and went through a crowd.
Yeah.
But right when the police came, very, very fast, they came with gas masks. Why? There was no gas at all. But it's part of the psyop for us to get more and more used to it.
Okay, okay.
Also, there were drills at the exact same time in Denmark, including chemical weapons. That's also. And your dear, the brother of your former president, he was meeting with Theresa May, as far as I know, for the support of Syrian attacks, more or less at the same time as these attacks as well. So, so it goes hand in hand, and the aim is for us to say, oh my God, we need to support this.
Okay,
that's the whole thing. It's a psyop as well as a...
Okay, next question would be about should we treat immigration movement sort of a Trojan horse for Europe, and how should we predict or counteract next attacks?
Okay, the immigration has been on the map since I've known about it since the early 90s, that was part of the map. You can read about it. I mean, the members of the New World Order and Agenda 21, it's very obvious in their books, they're talking about it openly, how to divide and conquer. You know, divide and conquer, another Roman tactic, to go into a population, create a problem, then pointing at each other, saying it's their problem, instead of you looking at who's really causing it. So if you have a problem with immigration, I say stop bombing their home countries. You stop bombing them, they won't come. And it's totally by design. One of the parts of the agenda of the New World Order is to eradicate, destroy national identity, to destroy every country, all of these things that makes countries strong, independent, with a variety of handicrafts and industry and agriculture, all of these things, destroy it, make it part of something bigger. You know, like for instance, one country you just give them massive bank loans to grow one crop. Everybody should grow the same. Once they do that, then you suddenly just say, no, sorry, we're going to buy it from Italy instead. And that whole country just goes wrong. Then the World Bank comes in, that is their tool, and says, oh my God, you really have problems, don't you? And so we will offer you loans to get out of this one. The thing is just that in the fine print, you sign a deal with the devil and you will never get out of this. So there are different ways of invading countries. Financially, or with war, or psyops, and so on. So this is how they do it. Can I just jump back and say, you were asking about lone wolves? The reason why they want, with all of these things, they want lone and crazy, or lone and fundamentalist, or just a lone wolf. Alone is because then by law there's no conspiracy, there's only one, and if that person dies, case closed. And crazy, because then there's no motive. Or fanatic, then it's Allah Akbar, and you don't have to look into what is the real agenda behind it. So that's why they always want that. At the same time, also what they do nowadays is they say it's one person, but then they arrest somebody else, and maybe 2, 3, 4, so that we're like, well, I thought it was one, no, it's 2, and that's to also create the illusion that it's much bigger. It's also, they keep changing the numbers of the dead and wounded and everything, all the details keep changing to keep us confused. It's a psychological warfare where you, even with very stable individuals, what you do is you keep changing what they think is stable, like this, and then you have a threat and a carrot. And you say, if you just come this way, otherwise you will. But to get a strong sense of individual, you need to do like this with his, and I think that is why.
Okay, because the next part of that question would be, since it's a Trojan horse, what seems to be, is there any involvement of Secret Service in this topic? If yes, then why?
It's it's financed by them, designed by them, using the intelligence agencies to create this. They want mayhem, they want chaos, they want destruction, they want everything right opposite what we want.
Okay.
You want peace, they want war. We want harmony, they want disharmony. They want hell, we want heaven. So you just have to do what you want and do like this.
Yeah.
But they will tell you what you want to hear. That's the difference.
Okay, so it's sort of a producing
It's a
outcome for the public, right?
They tell you anything.
Okay.
I can be the perfect politician.
Yeah.
Peace, freedom, equal rights, and you will get more and lower taxes.
Right.
Then I get elected. Yeah, right. I'm doing nothing of that. I'm serving my masters.
Right.
But before the election, I will tell you everything like that. It's called politics.
Right.
And politics is the absolute opposite of spirituality.
Exactly.
So to go and if you expect the politicians to sort this out for you, you're looking the wrong way. It's like knocking your head against the wall. We have to take the power back and sort these things out ourselves.
Okay, next question would be general. What is the best place that one can observe your thoughts and activities? Is there a website or portal?
My website is Light on Conspiracies.
Yeah.
lightonconspiracies.com, because that is what I try to totally non-violent, totally peaceful, but totally fearless expose these dark forces.
Okay.
By aiming the light into the darkest of the dark corner in the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with criminality on all levels is that they only function in the dark.
Right.
As soon as you aim the spotlight, they get neutralized. They are like cockroaches.
Right.
You put on the light, they have to go.
Right.
So the thing is for us to just say, we see you, and also this is what I try to do, is expose what the methods are they're using. There's so few of them. And like the false flag problem reaction solution, or false flag, I would like to explain false flag as well, what that is. A false flag is an old naval term from the old days when, like Holland and England and Spain was out conquering and raping, and so what they found out was that if they just went in and totally massacred the country, they would have problems with their neighboring countries and so on, because their reputation. So instead, if they put the enemy's flag on one of their other ships, then that their own ship attacked them, then suddenly, instead of them being the aggressor, they became the victim, and then it would be totally justified for them to defend themselves by invading, conquering, raping, and plunder.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh
Sense.
God, I tell you, I do not know hardly of any war in modern times and in the old that has not been started by a false flag. It is in the hundreds, and when you open the papers nowadays, it's like you can just see on so many different levels. And by the way, I have never ever read a Polish newspaper. I can tell you what's in it, because it follows the agenda. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you open a newspaper, there will be a lot of crimes. The crime rates have gone up, rapes, problems with immigration. It would be so unjust that the immigrants get so much more than you, the poor normal person, and it's very unjust. But the politician will still say, no, but we still have to keep our borders open, even if we're suffering. Okay, there will be a lot of moral decay. Like a bishop would have done things with a 3-year-old, or there would be, did I say rape? There would be lots of rape. It would have gone like totally crazy, only by foreigners. The foreigners there would be a lot of foreigners involved in criminal activity. There would be photos of them, and they would have names that you can't remember. It would be Allah or something like that. And often there would be refugees applying for asylum, but they've been refused, and because of that they want to get back at you.
Okay.
Then there would be sports about somebody's bad knee. You will have something about totally ridiculous TV programs. Cooking is good, and then there will be the TV programs and cartoons.
Right.
Am I right or am I wrong?
That's basically what the newspaper consists of.
Do I read or speak Polish? No. It's the same, it's the same, it's the same, it's the same. The New World Order. This is how they destroy us. They also, there will be all kinds of things where the top of the society is becoming corrupt. There will be scandals, meaning that normal people will just like, why should I be honest? Look at them. They're just ripping us off. So I will start doing the same and almost be proud of not paying tax, not being like, that's how they destroy morals.
Yeah. Okay, would you like to add anything else? Because
I would like to add a lot. I would like to say that you can find me on YouTube. Just go for my name, Ole Dammegard. There are hundreds and hundreds of interviews where I go through so many of these false flag alleged terror attacks in 2-hour interviews on international radio. Just step by step by step. Look at the evidence. What I go for, what I use is like 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 1 = 2. That is it. There is a sequence, you know, there's a reason why things happen, there's a logic to it, and the truth stands, it fears no investigation, it is just boom. But these things, once you start, it's like covered in lies, they fear, they totally freak out if you start looking at them, they will defend, there will be insiders that start killing each other, there will be whistleblowers, there will be all kinds of weird things. Corrupt. Also, my Facebook page has become, after all of these years, I'm being sent information from all over the world about drills, upcoming drills and so on, because they need to tell us. I did not explain that before. The way that the people in the New World Order see the law of karma is that they need to inform us what's going to happen, even though in subtle ways. Because if they don't, in their way of seeing the law of karma is that if they don't tell us, or if they tell us and we do not react, then the bad karma is on our shoulders, not theirs. So they need, even though they hate to do it, they have to. So this is great news, because then it's only up for us to look for it. What is the clue? Where are they? Where? And as far as I know, I've been able to stop 4 planned massacres just by knowing. And the one in London, the latest one, on 1 month before on international radio, I said the next target, London. Then I said the next target, I believe, the 9th of April in Copenhagen. But what happened was that I have almost like a small little, I wouldn't call it army, but grouping of people in different countries that are there 100% like, where do you want me to go? There, you know, because the whole thing is, when they set these things up, it will look exactly like a film stage, the same as a Coca-Cola commercial, same type of vehicle, same kind of, you know, the whole thing will be. So the thing is, if we go there and film them, make it very, very obvious to them that they're being filmed, that might scare them off, because it's sort of like, once again, you aim the light at them, they stop functioning.
Like cockroaches, right?
Cockroaches, that's the thing. That's the thing. Because for them, it's just another day at the office. I've spoken to people who've been part of it. They do false fight for breakfast. You know, they say bye-bye to their wife, go to work, sitting there with a timeline and sketchboards, just like on a commercial. They design the logos, the whole thing, marketing. They even have product placement, where in the middle of all of these images from these terror attacks, they have products. So that when we're like, oh my God, look at the blood and a Coca-Cola bottle, or a shoe, or a bag, right in the center of them. It's called product placement.
Right.
They're making billions, and it's right in our face.
Okay, what are the situations that you are predicting for the upcoming future? What may happen?
At the moment, I'm a little bit nervous, because what has happened recently, there's especially one company that I find very, very scary. It's called crisissolutions.com. crisis-solutions.com. And you can go to their website, they're very proud. You can go to the website and you go Crisis Cloud, find that, and in it they have a video with nice music in the background. This is what we can offer you. And what they do is they say they can create simultaneous drills or attacks where the whole thing is coordinated by with technical teams with a unit in the middle that at all times the only thing you need is to log in from as long as you have an internet connection, you can sit with your laptop and coordinate or you can be a team coordinating it, where they've got ambulance, fire brigades, police, SWAT teams, all of it connected to it. Also they have Twitter feeds, Facebook feeds, news feeds, where it looks real. They're like pumping out thousands of Twitter feeds, but it's them. Facebook feeds, but it's them. News feeds, but it's them. You know? And in the video, where the promotion video, they say Manchester, London, New York, as an example.
Yeah.
So what I believe, what we're going to see shortly, if not very soon, it's going to be a simultaneous attack in like 3 different places. I believe Copenhagen. I believe that it will be right next to Tivoli, by the central station, the main train station. There's a tower right opposite it called the Axel Tower. That's the target. I've been there. It seems like they prepared the whole thing because they block off the areas with road work, with construction work. There's a way they keep us out. They use public transports, buses, trams to just block off the street. You know, create a little because they only need a few minutes. Once everything is set, it's like they have helicopters up there, and then everybody on standby and block. Okay, go, boom! The whole thing explodes. Let go, and they start rolling again. But then you have all the crisis actors, all the so-called dead people, smoke, bombs, everything. So the only thing they need is prepare everything behind the scenes, and often they use public libraries. I found several ones where they use that to preparing, or in Stockholm lately, the central spa, which was right there, because they need somewhere where we cannot see what they're up to. Prepare everything, makeup, smoke bombs, all of these things, and then close, and go. Background action and action. It's a film set, and then boom, they move out. Within 30 seconds, it's all done, and then you have police. Get out! There's a bomb! Or they shoot in the air. Boom! People run everywhere.
Right.
And it's so easy. And that tower, that is the point where that could just involve the whole thing. And it's very recently constructed. It's not even ready yet, and I tell you, I've seen. It's just perfect for that. And included because there was a drill in Denmark at the exact same time as the London attack happened. I mean, on the hour, simultaneous, but drilled. They were drilled in where the police, the secret police, the fire brigade, the ambulances, all of these things, military was involved. And the theme was chemical weapons. We're back to Syria. Chemical weapons, explosives for the effect. They need smoke and bombs.
Of course.
It's film and radioactivity. Well, right on the other side of the Danish coast, right there, is a former nuclear power plant called Barsebäck. And right where the drill was there. So I thought a simultaneous attack in Denmark on the 9th of April, because the 9th of April was the day of the invasion of the German 77 years ago. They love numerology, 7-7, 9/11, 7/11, 3/3, all of these numbers, and the dates are extremely important for it, and the location. So, but I went out and we had a whole crowd of people there filming, being on location, and they even saw how they closed down bus lines and redirected them, started blocking off the streets and so on. But then, since I was there on international radio, it's happening. maybe making a total fool of myself, but then again, that's part of it. I'm happy to do that. But I believe they had to postpone it. Also, Norway was the target that because Norway was invaded the exact same day, and many, when you look back like 2 years, there were many connections with the ending of the Second World War. Mossad is extremely powerful and present in these attacks here. And there were bomb things, there were all kinds of things in Norway that day. But instead it happened in Sweden. So was there were there any drills in Sweden? Yes, there were drills. 2 days before, exactly the same theme as what happened. There were drills at the hospital. No, not exactly the same theme. There was, instead of a truck, there was a bomb in the exact same shopping mall. So the hospital was even informed that there's going to be 15 wounded before the accident even happened. People inside the shopping mall, Orleans, said the fire alarm went off, so they started evacuating, and boom, then came the truck. Not the truck came, the fire went off, and this timeline, the timeline. Also, the shopkeepers, I'm in touch with a psychologist who is in touch with all of these shopkeepers because many of them got a traumatic experience. So why were they traumatized? They didn't see the truck, but suddenly it was in the middle of an afternoon, and suddenly police came and just hammered on the window. Get down, there's a bomb. So everybody fled in to the shops, and then they were locked in for more than an hour. So I think, bam, bam, everybody locked in, and then the truck. But the truck wasn't at all driven by this guy they blamed. Absolutely not. It was one of their team in a mask. And then the bodies, you have the bodies where there's some horrific images of a girl that has been torn apart by this truck. I've had doctors with more than 30 years experience look at the photos. They say it's absolutely not true. It's not a real body. It's like it's torn apart, which would cause what is called a full bleed out. The thing is, you've got a lot of fluid inside a body.
Right.
It is gruesome. It is what is called a bloodbath. Here, not a single drop of blood. How is that possible? It is not. And then they're recycling. They're using the same people that were involved in the assassination of Ole Dammegard, 1986. Same ambulance drivers, same houses, the locals, the same. They're using it. They're recycling. Why? I heard an interview once with somebody involved in these attacks, and he said, why change? Why change a winning team? If you have people you can trust, if you have people that deliver, why change?
Of course.
It's the same if you have a good electrician, would you swap for another one, a bad one? No, you use him. And this is what we see. This is also where you see with these crisis actors that they die in one accident and then they live and they're alive in another one. Or they get killed multiple times, or they pop up, in different countries.
Yeah. So they're just staged, right?
It's staged. My favorite, she has been in 5 different major ones. Boston bombing, Sandy Hook, one in New Mexico. She was up at Standing Rock in Oregon. I mean, it's like the same person. Recycling. It's recycled terror.
Would you like to say anything else?
Just please ask me more if you want to, or if you're bored. Let's stop. What would you ask? What right?
Okay, so we'll just wrap it up. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Can I finish with a prayer?
Of course.
Okay, I would like to finish with a prayer. I'm not religious, but I am a spiritual being. And I normally end with this. I say, may the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May everyone, and especially the ones who hurt us, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to the light. Because the thing is, they need to heal as well. If they don't heal, it will just continue. If we use violence to fight back at them, it will just continue. We need to deal with this in a new way. It's absolutely not new. It's the Gandhi way, Mahatma Gandhi way, or Martin Luther King. We need to transcend this whole thing. And once, when you look at how small this group is that is behind so much mayhem in this world, they are in the thousands, we are in the billions. So it's an absolute joke that we're even having interviews or conferences like this Truth Conference. It's a joke. We should just be laughing, enjoying life, and being left alone.
Right.
But they are like a cancer growth. And the mentality behind them is the same as a cancer cell. It will do everything to kill the carrier. And the biggest triumph for a cancer cell is when the carrier dies. And then it dies as well. What kind of sick logic is that? But that is what we're up against. So we need to heal it.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you.